Welcome back. I hope you enjoyed our cookery program and you're taking away some tips with you and try it at home with your family. Barbara, we're just talking about food. Before we go into the women's magazine, food is very important. When you run your own business, we're just talking about, I eat, I love to eat, but I don't have the time to eat.
You have to find the time to eat. I didn't used to eat. I would get up in the mornings, have myself a cup of tea.
Yeah.
Then because I am a workaholic, I love my computer. I get turned on more by my computer than anything else. I'll turn it on and trust me.
Yeah.
I turn on my computer, it's like, woo! I just love it. I love work.
Yeah. Oh my God.
And so I forget about food.
Yes.
And of course, until around 2 o'clock, you start feeling faint.
Yeah.
I grab a fizzy drink, something energy. Yes,
yeah.
exactly.
Yeah,
a bag of crisps, a biscuit,
Yeah.
and you think, okay, that will do.
Yeah.
But what I found out was that when you're not eating, your body goes into starvation mode.
That's true.
So whatever you eat turns into fat and stays there. Because people would work with me and say, well, okay, I don't understand why you're a big girl because you don't eat. And then I realised I'm a big girl because I don't eat. Now that I've started eating, breakfast, lunch, dinner, and even snacks in between, whether it's a yogurt or a fruit or even a packet of What's-It, I'm actually losing weight gradually.
Well done. There you go, girls and boys, men and women. As you've heard from Barbara, food is very important, especially when you run your own business, because you have a tendency to say, okay, I've got to do this, I've got to do that, I've got to get this email done, quickly have to get that done. So eat, please. So Barbara, let's go back to the women's, your guide, the official guide to International Women's Month magazine. I keep getting this wrong. What is wrong with you, woman? I'll get it right. The official guide to International Women's Month magazine.
Yeah.
Okay. And Barbara, tell us all about it because we're celebrating Women's Month. Because I called and said, Barbara, come to my show, please. Come and talk to us about all these wonderful things about women. And he goes, no, Rhoda, it's not International Women's Day. It's International Women's Month.
Yes, I coined the phrase because there were so many things that were happening around the 8th of March. So many different events.
Yes.
And I thought, and so it was taken, it became International Women's Day, then become International Women's Week. Yeah. And it was ridiculous because the week was splitting into 2 weeks and the 2 weeks into a month. Mm-hmm. So I thought, I'm going to really get it out there that it's International Women's Month. So I started up a little campaign and sort of got people to start referring to it as International Women's Month, as well as obviously launch the magazine. I did that magazine, International Women's Month magazine, for about 2 years in live listings, then decided to take it out to let it stand on its own in 2004. And it's been going ever since. But I think it's very important that we acknowledge women, women who have done things, as well as try to encourage women who want to do things, women who need to believe in themselves to actually stop dreaming about that business you want to start, stop dreaming about that thing you want to do, and actually just take that first step. Yeah. My favorite motto is, feel the fear, but do it anyway.
I like that phrase. I really do. I always think about it. And sometimes I'm so afraid. I'm thinking, gosh, I won't do it. I won't be able to make it. And then you make it and you think, first step, second step.
It's amazing. It's amazing to see someone blossom and grow from just kind of like tentative movements and tentative moments, and you think, can you do this thing? And then it just all blossoms. I've seen so many people's lives transformed because they've actually felt the fear but did it anyway, and it's so very, very rewarding.
Tell us, which is great what you just said. Tell us give us some flavor of what to expect, because you've got a magazine out. Well, online.
Online, yeah.
Do you want to tell us about it and tell us about what it, because you've now moved from print to online, because you get more, to be honest, you get more traffic.
We do get more traffic. I mean, I don't want to always continue doing it online because the online was really to support the hard copy. Okay. But what I felt was that there's so much more to be learnt about what women want. So we decided that this year, and the credit crunch didn't help either. We decided that this year we were going to put it online and take the year out to actually do a lot more research, to interact more with the audience, the readers, and find out what they really, really want and get them involved in the magazine. And that's what we're doing. So we've got quite a few things going on within the issue that you can find online. The website for that is www.iwmm.co.uk.
It's on your screen.
Okay, you know, so we've done quite a lot of stuff within that publication. We've done something on Sharia's law.
Oh, nice.
Yes,
yeah.
because I know one of the women that's putting on a lot of the marches that are going on right throughout Europe.
Okay.
And she wrote a piece for us. Her name's Marion. She wrote a piece for us,
Yeah.
and it was really fantastic because she explained Sharia law to me,
Really?
and I just thought it was so very, very unfair. And the way that it's written online in the magazine is so simplistic. It really breaks it down. You know,
In this
in the
new
issue that's
one.
coming out
Yeah,
next
yeah,
week,
yeah.
it really breaks it down so you can understand where it's all coming from. And then you've got all the marches that are planned, whether it's in Europe or the States. There's a lot of marches, a lot of talks, a lot of things that's happening around from
They're
the
non-violent
sects.
matches, if I may say.
Absolutely
They're just to,
non-violent.
obviously to support the Sharia law. Is that right, or what?
It's to the campaign is called One Law for All.
One law for all. Okay.
And it's basically saying that you can't have one set of women that has rights and then you have another set of women that doesn't have rights.
Yeah.
I mean, what you have to remember is that the whole thing about International Women's Day began because of some workers in a factory that didn't have the same rights as everybody else, a group of women.
Really?
And this was in 1910. They didn't have the same rights, you know, and
really?
it was happening.
International Women's Month?
It's been going on for a long time.
I thought you only started maybe 2-3 years ago.
No, since 1910, all the
Wow.
protests in Germany, in the States, in Russia, all these places,
Yeah.
and in England, as you know, because we've had the trying to get the vote and tying
Yeah,
yourself to the
Emmeline,
gates.
Pankhurst,
that's
yeah, in
right.
1918,
so it was.
yeah.
If you really check your history, it was happening in various
That was
clusters.
true. That was true.
right throughout the world.
That is true, yeah.
You know, so
yeah.
women were beginning to step up to the mark and protest and say, no, I'm not going to stand for this. It's not fair.
All the time is where you have to prove things as a woman. It just makes it a little bit, you know.
But we're catching up. I mean, we
Yeah.
are catching up. If you really look at the amount of women nowadays that has businesses out there, we are far exceeding the norm. You know, it's if you check statistic-wise, we do have more female-run businesses out there now than we did a few years ago. So we are catching up. And I'm very pleased about that. And I will always encourage anyone to start their own business. Obviously, know what it is that you're doing.
Yeah.
Don't just decide I'm going to do this thing. Go and do your research. Get yourself a business plan. You know, have some sort of contingency plan as well. You know, and as my accountant once said to me when I first started, make sure you've got an account that you can afford to put £10 or £20 in and forget about for the next several years.
Really?
You know, because you never can tell when you're going to need it.
That is so true, though,
Yeah.
isn't it? Because
And I've had that, and thankfully I've never dipped into it, so I don't even know what the state of it is, but I know it's not £10 that's in there. You know?
Barbara, I know you're also a mother. How do you combine your role as a mother running a business? I mean, not over one magazines. You
For
have
three.
three of them going.
But I also do contract publishing, which means that I work for other people as well. And I've also
Gosh,
started...
I tell you, girl, she's talented. She's talented. Go on, tell,
And in
how
January,
do you combine this?
in January, I started something because I've always been interested in children and in learning. My
Yeah.
son, when he was about, say, before he was 10 years old, he once asked me for a picture of myself, which I thought was really lovely. And then I said, oh, that's nice. What do you want that for? He goes to me, so that I know what you look like. Wake up call. Because I was working outside and he wasn't seeing me. And I had a live-in nanny so that, you know, to help me with the child. And I thought, I'm not seeing my child. And he's growing up and he's nearly 10. So that's when I decided to leave my work, leave my job, start my own business from home so that I'd be there in the morning for him when he, you know, to get him off to school, to give him his breakfast. And my pen and computer, everything went off at 4 o'clock when he came home, and he would, you know, spend time with him, have dinner, and then get back onto the computer at 6 or 7 o'clock when he's settled. And that's how I managed to combine it when my son was small, you know. And as he grew up, he started helping me in the office, so that was fantastic.
Bless him.
You know, so it was easy to combine the two things. But I've always had an interest in children as well. So I started in January this new thing called I think it's called Media to Education Enterprise Challenge.
Wow.
I go into schools and I work with the children just for the day, 14-year-olds plus, to show them what it is that I do and the challenges that they produce it. So schools and academies are calling me now, asking me if I can come in for the day to work with the kids, because I just love passing on my knowledge to people.
Barbara, thank you very much for being on my show. I can't believe how quickly the time has gone. I hope you've enjoyed my chat with Barbara Campbell. All information about Barbara and my guests can be found on my website, which is www.rhodawilson.com. And also, I will have a list of the websites which Barbara has mentioned during the conversation here on the website as well. This is me, Rhoda Wilson, saying thank you very, very much indeed for watching my show. I hope you've enjoyed my conversation here today. Until next week, goodbye.